So let's just get right into it. Picture this. You're standing in line for a coffee, and you overhear the person in front of you complaining about how broke they are right as they order a $12 specialty latte. It's a perfect little snapshot of this massive disconnect a lot of us have with money. But what if getting wealthy isn't some big, complicated secret? What if it really just comes down to following a few simple rules that most people just ignore?
And that right there is the entire idea we're going to dig into. It's not that the person buying the fancy coffee is dumb, it's that they're probably not playing by the same set of rules as the people who actually build lasting wealth. It's not really about luck or having some crazy high-paying job, it's about sticking to a handful of proven principles that, honestly, anyone can learn. But before we can start building anything, we gotta be real about where most of us are starting from. This number you're looking at, $9,000, that's the average credit card debt for a household in the US. That means for a ton of people, the starting line isn't zero, it's a deep, deep hole. And that's exactly why understanding these rules isn't just a nice idea, it's absolutely critical. Okay, so keeping that $9,000 hole in mind, where do we even begin? Well, it all starts with the very first rule, which really gets to the core of what I call the money paradox. This is the foundation. Everything else is built on top of this one. So rule number one is just brutally simple. Never, ever spend more than you earn. I know, it sounds so obvious, right? But that $9,000 debt number we just saw, it proves that simple and easy are two very different things. Mastering this one rule means you create a surplus, a positive cash flow. That little bit of extra money is the seed that all wealth grows from. Without it, you're not building anything. You're just treading water. All right, so you've got a surplus. You've stopped the financial bleeding. Fantastic. Now what? What do you actually do with that extra cash? Well, this brings us to the next crucial phase, which is all about your mindset. It's about understanding the huge difference between an asset and a liability. This definition, which comes from Robert Kiyosaki, is pure genius because of how simple it is. An asset, it puts money in your pocket. A liability, it takes money out of your pocket. That's it. Seriously, forget all the complicated accounting jargon you've ever heard. For building wealth, this is the only distinction that really matters. And here's what that looks like in the real world. The cash from a rental property, it flows into your wallet. The payments for that brand new car loan, they flow away from it. See the difference? The wealthy get this on a deep, intuitive level, and they basically organize their entire financial life around this one simple idea. And that brings us right to rule number two: acquire assets, not liabilities. You see, the goal isn't just to make money. The goal is to use your money to buy things that make you more money. It's a huge shift. The middle class buys liabilities they think are assets, like a fancy car. The wealthy use that very same money to buy income-producing assets instead. Okay, you've got the surplus, you've got the mindset, now it's time to build your defenses. This part is all about creating a financial fortress, one that can handle all the curveballs life is inevitably going to throw at you. And this is a big one. Rule number three, you have to pay yourself first, and you have to automate everything. Look, most people have this completely backwards. They pay their rent, their bills, they buy stuff, and then they try to save whatever's left over, which, let's be honest, is usually nothing. This rule flips the script. Your savings and investments, they become the single most important bill you pay. A minimum of 10% of every single paycheck goes to you first before anyone else gets a dime, and you do it automatically. And that's why automation is everything. Your willpower is not going to make you rich. It's just not strong enough. You will always, always find a good reason to spend that money right now. Wealthy people don't rely on being motivated. They build automated systems that make sure the right thing happens with their money every single month, no matter how they're feeling. So next up is rule number four. Build your financial shield, your emergency fund. Without this, one single unexpected thing, a car repair, a surprise medical bill, sends you right back into debt, and you're back at square one. The process is simple, as you can see here. Just start with a goal of $1,000, automate the contributions, then just keep building until you have 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses socked away. This isn't just money, by the way. This is peace of mind. It's freedom. Okay, your fortress is built, your defenses are up. Now it's time to go on the attack. You see, defense keeps you from losing the game, but offense is how you win it. These next rules are all about actively growing your wealth for the long, long term. Now, here's a question that trips up so many people.
You've built your emergency fund, you're saving consistently, so you're done, right? Is that enough? The answer is a hard, unequivocal no. In a world with inflation, any money just sitting in a savings account is actually losing its buying power year after year. It's like a slow-motion financial disaster you don't even see happening.
So we have to understand the difference here. You save for security, for emergencies, and for short-term goals. But you invest for independence. You invest for long-term growth that actually beats inflation. Let me say it again. Saving protects what you have. Investing creates the future you actually want.
And this leads us to rule number 5. You must invest. And this classic example shows you exactly why starting early is the ultimate cheat code. Just look at Alex and Jordan. Alex invests for a bit longer, but just because he started a mere 8 years earlier, he ends up with over $370,000 more. That's not magic. That is the unbelievable power of compound interest at work. All right, next up is rule number 6. Understand the difference between good debt and bad debt. It's simple. Bad debt buys stuff that goes down in value. Think financing a vacation on a high-interest credit card. Good debt, on the other hand, buys assets that can go up in value, like a sensible mortgage on a house. And the difference this makes over a lifetime is just staggering. This chart shows the average net worth of a homeowner is about $255,000. For a renter, it's just $6,000. That's a 40 times difference, and a huge chunk of that is powered by using good debt strategically. Which leads right into rule number 7. You have to take calculated risks. Playing it too safe by just stashing cash away is actually the biggest risk you can take because inflation guarantees you're going to lose. But there's a world of difference between a calculated risk, like investing in a diversified index fund over time, and a stupid risk, like YOLOing all your money into some meme coin your cousin told you about at a barbecue. Wealth is built by managing risk, not by trying to avoid it completely. And that brings us to our final section. We've got the mindset down, we've built our defense, we've launched our offense. This last part is all about the daily discipline and the long-term vision that ties this entire thing together. So let's land the plane here with the last 3 rules. Now, these aren't so much about specific tactics as they are about the daily disciplines that hold the whole strategy together. We're talking about tracking your money, setting goals, and maybe most importantly, being patient. Rule number 8 is captured perfectly by this quote. You cannot manage what you do not measure. You just can't. Most of us have these little financial leaks in our budget that we don't even know exist. Tracking your spending isn't about shaming yourself or making you feel guilty. It's about giving you data. It's about awareness. It is the only way you can ever gain real control over where your money is going. And this gets to the absolute heart of rule number 9. Set specific, concrete goals. I want to be rich isn't a goal. It's a wish. It leads you nowhere. But I will invest $833 a month to hit my first $50,000. Now that is a goal. It gives you a roadmap, it gives you a destination. Vague wishes lead to confusion. Specific goals are what actually get you there. And finally, we have rule number 10, play the long game. Building real lasting wealth is not a sprint. It is a marathon. And just like this timeline shows, the progress feels painfully slow at first. But over time, those small, consistent actions you take, they don't just add up, they compound. And the growth eventually becomes exponential. The truly life-changing results happen over decades, not days. Patience isn't just a virtue in this game, it's a core financial strategy. And that's really what this all boils down to, isn't it? That person in the coffee shop, they don't have an income problem, they have a priority problem. These 10 rules, they aren't secrets kept under lock and key, they're choices. And 10 years from now, you're either going to thank the person you are today, or you're going to wish you had started sooner. Your future self is counting on you. The choice, as always, is yours.